How are we doing, everybody? This is MML from 3 Minute, presenting extended thoughts on Graveyard's Innocence and Decadence. If you haven't seen the 3 Minute review, you can go see that by clicking on the chair over there for my general impressions. However, this is going to be more in detail since sometimes I can't fit everything into 3 minutes. I just need to gush about an album that either affected me heavily negatively or heavily positively, or in some cases just heavily mad. I don't even know. Graveyard has always been one of my favorite bands, and I really like their sound because it's not a sound that you can get in many other places. They have a hard rock sound which they founded with their original album, Graveyard, their self-titled album back in 2007, I believe, 2007, 2009, something like that. With their original album, and then 2011, 2012 they had 2 albums. I consider them both to be sophomore efforts because I feel like that's the best way to put it, because they both try similar things but in different ways, and it's clear with Innocence and Decadence which one they chose, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, so that's why we're here. This album is much more, as I said in the review, it's much more bluesy than their previous work. And Hydrogen Blues, given the title, did go the more bluesy way also, but then Lights Out kind of brought things back to more of a hard rock while still maintaining those blues elements. And I really like Lights Out a lot. I like it more than Hydrogen Blues. So coming back to a more bluesy sound here with Innocence and Decadence, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. But the album's still pretty freaking good, so I don't know, it's a sound change, and people are mad about it because some people love that first Graveyard album. I don't. I think it's not as good as the other ones, the sophomore efforts. But a lot of people really love that first album because it's a really solid hard rock album. And I would agree, it is a pretty solid hard rock album. But I feel like there's more to Graveyard than that, and this album proves it. They changed their logo, they changed a lot of things for a more bluesy, laid-back approach, and that's how that works. So we're going to go track by track, because that's kind of how things usually work on Extended Thoughts. Unless I'm really mad, just so mad, like in the Fear Factory, just so mad, can't even go track by track. It's so maddening, just so mad. Magnetic Shrunk is a more hard rocky song to kick things off, and I like it, but you can immediately tell, that is much more bluesy. Just immediately from the sound, it's like, whoa, the amount of blues inspiration here is like crazy. Then comes the track, the single that came out before the album, The Apple in the Tree, and that was very bluesy, and I really liked the song. It was like, oh, this is a really solid blues rock song, and I haven't heard blues rock like anywhere new, like anywhere. So that's pretty awesome, and I really like that song. And Exit 97 is almost, I almost feel like it's the part 2 to Apple in the Tree, because it just flows so well from one song to the next, and I don't know, like, obviously there's different lyrics, different meanings behind the songs, but I just feel like they're almost like, it's almost like a 2-movement piece there. And the whole flow throughout the whole album is really, really solid. I have to mention that it just feels like one package instead of, in a lot of albums, they just, oh, this song we wrote, let's put it here. But here, it's like they sat down, they're like, we're going to make an album, gosh diddly darn it, and so they did. When you're talking about the flow of the album, the difference is in an album like Lights Out, what they had is they had a hard rock song, then a soft rock song, then 2 hard rock songs, and then a soft song, and then, they dispersed the soft songs appropriately. But here it's like the opposite. There's very uncommonly the heavier hard rock songs, whereas now there's more of the softer, bluesier songs, and I don't mind that. So, and blues doesn't necessarily mean soft either. All the songs are very, very bluesy, but I'm just saying there's more soft songs here. It's a much more soft effort, and I like it. I like it. It's much more laid back. And the title, Innocence and Decadence, you know what? That kind of warrants that, I guess. So Never There's to Sell is the next song, and that song is a little bit more hard rocky, but it picks up, and the thing is, when it picks up, when I say it picks up, I don't mean like Endless Night off the previous album level of picks up. I mean more like Suits the Law and the Uniforms, that kind of pickup. If you're a fan of Graveyard, you know the songs. If not, you don't. That's what I kind of mean. So, note that. Can't Walk Out is another hard rock-ish song, but it slows things down a bit more. I mean, not slows it down, I'm trying to think of the best way. It tones things down, is probably the best way to put it. And that prepares us for Too Much Is Not Enough, the other single off of the album, which is a ballad. It's almost every Graveyard album has that like romance song in there. This is the romance song. It is. But the thing about it is, it's not a song. Most of the Graveyard romance songs are about a breakup or things not going well. And that's the same case here. It's like, it's about relationship struggles, and I really like that song also. But then from Hole in the Wall does pick things back up again, and then Cause and Effect picks things up even more. It's almost like, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It's like the show just keeps on going. It's like the song ends, and then before the audience gets the chance to clap at the end of the song, then the next song just starts, and you're like, whoa, it's crazy. And then it just keeps going, and it just keeps going. And it kind of just keeps going through the rest of the album. Hard-Headed is a good song, and it's far too close, it slows things down a little bit, and then Stay for a Song is the perfect closer to the album. It's just so good, it's so soft and somber. It reminds me of, and this is from one of my favorite albums, and this is a heavy metal record, so if you're not a fan of Graveyard and you don't like heavy metal, that's fair. King's Burn the Serum, the last track there is also a very soft song, and I like how it ends off that album, just like how I like Stay for a Song ends up this album. However, there is a bonus track, The Hatch, and I don't like it being here. I wish it just... I mean, it feels like they're like, oh, we're going to start the next album now, but I don't want them to start the next album. I want this album to be this album. Hey, if you want to make an album in 2016, just like you did with Lights Out, hey, I'm all game for that. Put The Hatch at the front of that. It's not a bad song. I'm just saying, like, they did such a good job with, like, making the album a package, and then they kind of just threw that right at the end. I don't like bonus tracks much in general, so there you go. Either way, the thing is, it's so much more bluesy. That's the best way. That's the main thing. It's so much more bluesy, but I feel like it's so much more emotional and so much more. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. It just feels so much more like a complete intentional package. It's like they're trying to do something with this album instead of just rock. And, you know, I like when bands just rock, obviously. But I think that this tries to do something more, and does it succeed in that? I think it does. The only thing that it sacrifices, that I think it sacrifices some of the catchiness that was in the older Graveyard records. And, so you won't find your absurdly catchy song that you're going to just keep listening to when you're in the car, but at the same time, it is a really solid album. So, best album, I would still say no, but it's a really, really good job. Do I think they should continue with this sound in the future? I guess that's up to you to decide, and for them to decide. I mean, a lot of people are mad, obviously, about the sound change, but I mean, bands gotta change their sound, and if it works, like, this doesn't fail. It's not like, oh, the sound change failed so bad. They've always had a blues sound to them, and they've only developed it more throughout the years. So for them to go more blues rock than hard rock, I can understand that. I just hope that whatever they keep doing in the future, maybe they can bring back some of those hard rock elements in the future, but hey, that's just me. So, yeah, it's a good album, obviously. I mean, I said that, and if you haven't seen the review, I mean, there's nothing that I said in the review that I didn't say here, but went more in depth on it. I needed to give my extended, unscripted thoughts. So this album is just, it's different from what I expected. That's the best way to put it. So, different, yes. Good, also yes. Later.